put it on the chat, and we will address your questions timely, as long as Larry can answer all of them in 2 hours. If not, we will answer you by email later after the meeting, okay? So we have with us Sean Allison, which many of you know from last year. We had a meeting in Sao Paulo, so you've probably met him. For those who haven't, Sean is the regional manager for South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. Okay, so he's got a huge job in Mexico. Yeah. And we've also, people are coming in, I have to admit them, correct? One by one.
I'll admit them for you, Marina. So
Okay. Okay, thank you. And Larry Gilbert, which is our Destiny Doctor, he's going to be the host for our meeting, and will lead us through Destiny and some of the new features, Destiny app if he's ready, and lots of other little things in Destiny. So before we turn on the word to Larry, I think Sean might like to say a few words to you. Sean?
Good morning, everyone. Marina tried to teach me a few words in Portuguese about 30 seconds before you all came in, so I did not learn it. I apologize. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. It's great that everybody's connecting online in this upside down world we live in. Fortunately, we have resources that should make your life a little bit easier getting material out to the students. So what we're hoping for today is for everyone to express the needs that you have, learn a little bit more, find new ways to support learning. I know the learning curve has been quite large over the last 6-7 months, but from what I've seen in the region, everybody is struggling at times, but there's more success than anything else. So this morning, I wish you success. I'm not going to take a lot of time because we do only have 2 hours, and I'd like Larry to get started. Marina does a great job. I just want to give her a little shout out. Marina's wonderful, and I wish we were all sitting somewhere in Sao Paulo right now, enjoying a lovely breakfast and visiting, but this is the next best thing. So I hope you all have a cup of coffee or a sandwich or something to drink, and you can sit back and relax and listen to Larry and learn something new today about Destiny and its functionality. So welcome and enjoy. Larry, I'll let you take over.
All right.
Marina, you might want to mute. You might want to mute out Marina because
yes,
I'm going to as well, and we'll just sit back in the background and learn more.
All right, everyone should be seeing my screen showing myself logged into Destiny. If anyone does not, let us know. I'm setting up my little windows here so I can keep track of everything. All right, so Marina shared an agenda earlier. So my intentions for the next couple of hours, talk about the new Destiny Discover app, talk about ebooks, Lightbox, other ebooks, ebook circulation settings, etc. in Discover. And we'll get to collections and searching abilities within Destiny, like Webpath Express, OneSearch. And then we'll look at some more of the setup. So we'll go back and forth between Discover and settings for Discover. So where I am right now, obviously, is this has been referred to as the classic interface. Officially, Follett is calling this the Destiny back office now. If you remember, the back office is called admin now. This just changed recently. They made those changes. to keep all the naming straight as to where they're going to be heading forward. All right, I'm getting feedback with the non-muted microphone, so I was hearing myself. All right, so I am logged in as me, and just to be sure we're all looking at this the same way, and so we understand all this, if I go to admin, I want to show you how I'm logged in. I go to my patron record, and then I click on edit. I just want to point out that I'm logged in with my patron record as an administrator. Access level is set to administrator. This gives me the best features, the best access to be able to adjust and change everything on a day-to-day basis. This is how I would normally log in every day, all day. Some of you may have other logins like a district user or the Destiny admin user. If you log in as those two logins, you do have access to a lot of settings and other adjustments in other places within Destiny, but those other two logins, Destiny admin or a district user, do not see all features. They do not have access to all features. So if you're logging in as anything other than a patron with some kind of an administrator access, you're not seeing everything. So we always recommend use your patron record. So I'm going to come back in here into Discover. Be the first step I'm going to get into. And we're going to talk about the app. There is a new app that was just released, and the app is called Destiny Discover. It's for the Apple iOS and for Androids. And the intention is for mobile devices like phones or tablets. And the main purpose of it is for the to allow students to log in to your catalog with their patron record. They can search the catalog. They find ebooks that they want, or they're looking for an ebook. They can open the ebook easily and read it online. They could check out the ebook with the app, and they can download the ebook with the app. The previous one that was working with other versions of Destiny still works. It was called Destiny Read, and it was a simplified ebook reader only, and that was there for Apple and Androids. The new one, the new Destiny Discover app just released, it only works with version 18 of Destiny. Sorry, I jumped ahead. I should have showed that while I was back here. Down at the bottom of any page anywhere in Destiny Classic, you can see the version. So right now, this is version 18. It's actually 18.1. No, we're going to say 18. It's actually 18, and these are different numbers. So they've already had updates, minor updates in the background happen since they released version 18. If you do not see 18 down here, the new Destiny Discover app will not work with any earlier version, like 17.5 or 17 or back. The new app can listen to or have the allow the student to listen to Follett's audiobooks, but they would need to be online for the listening. Later on this school year, they will be able to download audiobooks into the Destiny Discover app for mobile devices. There's a list of other features that they intend to add throughout the school year, but they did a rush job to get it out this summer before school started, with the realization that there was going to be a lot of at-home learning and the need to have the app out there for at least the ebook, so it will continue to be updated. There's not, obviously I can't really show it on the screen here, that if you have questions when you get into using the Discover app for the ebooks, do not hesitate to email us or email tech support. whatever you're comfortable with, and we'll try to track down all of the answers needed. Then I'm going to move on here, and this is obviously Destiny Discover, and this is the interface that Follett's intention is to add features to, with the thinking that this is what students and teachers will be using to access your content in your catalog. The Destiny back office that goes back to the classic look, any features or enhancements back there will be for the intention of the library or library staff. So we're hoping that the majority of patrons, students, teachers, parents, anybody else will be coming to Discover to do their searching and accessing of all the resources you might have. We're here at the home page of Discover that is adjustable, that you can change and move things around, turn things off. When we get into the setup, there is places to turn this announcement page on or off, or add more to it, add graphics, do whatever you want. The learning links you can turn on and off, and you can adjust. There are different ways of turning things on and off within the learning links. And then if we scroll down, there is ebooks, ribbons. I call them ribbons. The official term is carousels. And each one is a little bit different. So ebooks, Lightbox, recently added books. This is a custom carousel. It is brand new within the last few weeks. And I will show you how this occurs or is created and done. Popular titles based on circulation. Topics used to be set by Follett only, and you could not make any adjustments. As you can see here, you can add other ones now with any icon for any kind of subject search, keyword search, or sublocation, and it'd be under your control. So you can add, subtract, change graphics. Then there are collections, which is the same thing as resource lists. Basically, shows a list of audiobooks, more interactive ebooks, and then the learning links, which is going to be the same as the learning links display up here at the top. It's just a different way to display it. All these carousels, all these ribbons, you can turn on and off if you do not wish to see one or two or three, whatever you want. And you can adjust the order that these ribbons or the carousels display. Many librarians are showing the ebooks at the top and Lightbox if you have Lightbox ebooks, so that students would see them first. Let me back up here. So a lot of this control here is done in admin. So I'm coming up here to the 3-line menu, upper left menu, the hamburger menu, a lot of different names, but this is the Discover menu when you're on Discover. And with the being logged in as admin, I do see all these extra options here, widgets and admin. Everything here and above, favorites, history, finds, holds, checkouts, profile. If you have Biblionasium, collections, and Discover, same thing as here, or back office, this is what students and teachers might be able to see depending upon what you have turned on or off. So what I want to do is go to admin first. When I go into admin, I want to look at display options, and you're going to see 4 features or 4 more menus with different features. And I want to go to featured content first. When I do that, this is that first blue box that we saw sitting at the top. If I don't want it, I could hide it. All I'd have to do is tick it. If I want it back, I can do this. So I can turn it on and off, and it does keep all of the information. So if I'm working on this or editing, I can hide it until I have it completed. If I click on the edit button up here, this is the title line. what shows at the top, and it's just basic text. I could remove it, or this is a save button right here. Or I can come down here and click on the edit. And this is the different section where I can come in and I can change text around. I can make it bigger, smaller, anything I want to do, bold it, italics, underline it, change colors. So you're allowed to come in here and do as you need to do. You can add other links out to any place. You can add pictures, and if you get it set up, you can add a video. So it'd be a link to a video. So a lot of this would take some experimentation, but you should be able to change many options here. Over here, the column B, learning links, I can edit. So I can remove what I've already added, or I can add more. So basically, this is where you add a favorite link or a link that you want students to see and use, be able to click on and go out to. So obviously, your choice of what you put here and whether or not you want them to see that, or you can turn it on and off because you can hide it. If the first time you go into here, you will see nothing if you've never added it. So this comes blank from us. And if I click on add link, the first one is the display name. Here you want to put in the web address of the website, and you do need the HTTP//. So the easiest thing to do is whatever website you want is go to it first and copy the address on the address bar and then paste it. Come back to feature content. If you do not want learning links showing up here, you can create another text box. And this would be the same thing as over here, but obviously you can have different text, different information. Just whatever you want to use these for is the whole idea. If you're not ready to have them out there, obviously, as mentioned, you can hide them and work with them at any time that you want at a later date. If I scroll down, these are the ribbons or the carousels. If I wish to change the order, all I have to do is when my cursor goes to the 4 arrows, I can just drag it up. I can put them in any order I want, move any of them. I can uncheck them if I don't want them to show. This is the custom. This is the new one. So someone ahead of me here has created a Beehive Book Awards. So if I click on edit here, all this part does is allow me to turn it on and then to name my ribbon. So whatever the purpose of the ribbon, and in this case, the Beehive Book Awards, that's what I want to put in there. So this is what displays for that ribbon, that carousel on the home page. When we get off into searching and looking at books in Discover, the title records, I will have the ability to add individual title books to this carousel. There's no fancy global way of adding a lot. It's just a matter of picking and choosing the titles in your library to be displayed in this carousel. Learning links. If I come down to here, this is the exact same editing page or add-on page that the learning links at the top displayed. So the learning links here, edit button, and what shows here in the learning links is exactly the same thing as the carousel, the ribbon down here. So some people have turned it off here so it is not doubled up. Some people like the ribbon and they don't show it up here, and there are some that show both. Then topics. If I edit the topics, now, the very first time you go in, you will be seen as, I mean, you might see elementary topics, or you might have the middle high topics chosen. And you could choose back and forth. And what you see here is the permanent searches topics that Follett has set up that has been there for several years. So then we add the custom topics. The first time you go to custom topics, if you've never been here before, you will see nothing down here at all. This will be a blank page, and all you will see add blank or import elementary or import middle high. I and many others, when we were doing this, learning this, and I see a lot of librarians doing the same thing, they will import one or both of the elementary into the custom. So this is bringing over searches to start with that was permanent in elementary or permanent in middle. So now it's over here when you import, and they bring them over. So I am now seeing all of Follett's regular topics that they had set up years ago. Here's something that somebody was playing with. So if I don't like this, I can just delete it. That way we get that out of the way. And this would have been one of the originals that Follett has set up, graphic novels, with this icon graphic chosen. I can come over here and delete it if I don't like it. I could duplicate it, so I can leave this, and then I could create another one that has a different setting. But I can edit, so I am now allowed to edit the topic that Follett has previously set up. So I can change the name. I could click here and change the graphic. If I don't like BAM, I can do anything I want, and these are preset icons from Follett, or I can go here and I can upload my own graphic, and that graphic needs to be 110 by 110. That's the best size. So we're giving you choices here. I can remove any subject that Follett already has set up on this, and or I could add more. So I could type in something here. And I could add another one. So I can add other subjects and then save the changes just for that one. Or I can add a brand new blank topic. So if I obviously do not like what Follett has preset, but I'm going to use them anyway, I can create another one. And I would name it I could tell it to do a keyword search, which would be an author, title, subject, notes, series, added entry search. So it searches all the terms within a record. Or I could be specific and search for subjects only. And it tells me it's keyword. Or if you are using sublocations, a lot of libraries are using sublocations with genre. I could do that. And then anytime the students or teachers would click on this topic, it would show a list of the titles that you have chosen to put in that sublocation. If I do keyword, I can do this. But I also need an image. So nothing works without an image. It will not let you save or move forward without an image. And on keyword, I could add multiple keywords. If subjects, it's a keyword search in the subject terminology. It does not have to be just the word dinosaur. So any subject that has the word dinosaur anywhere, first, second, third in the line, this will find. And I could add more and more and more, whatever I need to. And then I could save it, which I'm not going to do that right now. The other part to notice if it's a temporary topic, you can have it viewable. And then if if the project or researching part is done, you do not want it to be showing, you can hide it. And it stays there. Unhide it when you need it again later on. This allows me, these 4 lines allows me to adjust which ones I want to, or what order I want to see these. So the suggestion is many people have been wanting this, and so we suggest that you try this out, do some experimenting. Don't create a whole lot of new ones until you're used to how it works and see how it displays. Try 1 or 2 simply and go from there. And most people, like I said, are importing both elementary and middle school. Then you can hide what you don't want and or adjust. The other part of this whole screen here is to understand that there's a standard view and there's also a simplified view. So if I wanted to make the simplified view different, I could turn off certain things that I don't think my younger students need to see. And then I could have this set of ribbons for simplified, and I could have this set of ribbons for standard. And when I do this, to see where this fits versions and themes, this is where you pick and choose who sees simplified and who sees a standard. If you've never been here, never changed it, everything comes set to see standard. But I'm going to have guest be seen as simplified. So over here on the right, if it's standard, you only have one option right now, prime blue. You click this, and hopefully a pop-up window is displaying for all of you right now. And this is kind of showing a general idea of what the standard would look like. Over here, when it's simplified, you have multiple choices of an interface. So right now it's set for space is the first one. If I click, it lets you see what the background will look like. You can try any of these, pick them and choose. I'm going to pick Book Fair. This is what Book Fair would look like, and I'm going to save it. So once again, you can make these adjustments differently, change it around, experiment. Just remember, on mine, and this is what would happen with yours, most likely the administrator would have standard. So when I choose simplified for guests, I would have to log out. And sometimes when you make changes in settings, you may have to totally leave Discover to go back to the back office and Classic, and then come back into Discover to see the changes. Many times you make changes, and if you just go look real quick, like, you're not going to see that until you leave and come back in. So now I've got this set, and as I've shown here, this is the standard, and this is for me because I'm logged in as administrator. If I come up here and log out, this is the simplified. So I set this for guests to see. You can see that this text is a little bit different. Learning links still showing. I probably, for the easier simplified look, I'd probably turn all this off. The whole idea of simplified is to keep it simple. You'll notice it's larger icon, or larger book covers. There's less text. There's less choices. They can get to collections directly instead of going over here. And things just change, and a lot of people like this for the younger students. If I click on a title, it'll flip. And if I want to see more details, it'll show me this way. So there's less text. Then it'll say relating stuff down here. So these are titles that they might be interested in if they're looking at this one. If I log back in, then I'm back to the standard look. All right. While we're here, I'm just going to take a quick look at a Lightbox ebook. Lightbox ebooks are interactive ebooks. Unlimited access, meaning 50, 100, everybody could be opening the ebook simultaneously. There's no real reason to check out this type of a unlimited access ebook. They don't download to a mobile device. If I click on Arctic Ocean, be like this, and I can open it. And most cover images, some will have movement, some video, some do not. I'm going to open up the Lightbox ebook with the red button, which is the same red button on all of them. And what you're seeing is all the pages in the ebook. Down here at the bottom, I'm running my mouse across these icons. So the first one is audio. Pages that are highlighted have audio. There's another one, video pages, activity, web links, slideshows. If there were any in this one, other ones will have. Transparencies, Google Maps. So it'll link out to Google Map and sometimes go down to the Street View to display specific places. This one is quiz. Some of them will have quizzes. This one does not. And then keywords. The concept is the teacher is using this possibly within a class. All students could be reading the same thing, looking at the same thing, and it would be truly an interactive experience within the whole classroom. If I just click on one page, there we go. That's what it looks like. There's audio. Sometimes it'll read some of the text for me to help me pronounce. It's not an audio book type listening. You can leave annotations, notes. There's Google connection here. Click on something, it'll go to here. If I need to, I can actually go down and do a street view if it existed, and it does. I can close that back out, go to the next page. So there's a lot of things on each page to do, to read. And these all come in different grade levels, interest levels, from very lower grades up to the, I think what we have, middle school, lower high school grade levels listed. And there are ways to increase the size if need be. All right, I'm going to close this book. Audiobooks would be very similar. Really can't show you much on that because you can't hear what I hear. If I come back up to the top, if I type in my term before or after typing, I can come over here under search options. So search options here is very similar to the ones that we were seeing in Classic in the back office search, where the library staff will be working mainly. But you can adjust how this searches before you perform the search. Not everyone is seeing the search options up here. They're not seeing all the different drop-down menus that we're offering. If you have 2 or more libraries in a district, you'll see them all listed. Sublocation, if you're using that field for genre or anything else. Then reading programs, starting interest levels. So everything is here listed. So they can adjust before they search. Once they do search, we always want to point out there are limiters or filters sitting here on the left. So there's just a lot of different options to change and adjust if need be before the search, and many, many more after the search. And what shows up after the search is determined by the search results. So all these things showing here are part of one or more of those titles of the 98 have these kind of filterings available, the data. Now, if you remember that personal or that customized carousel on the homepage, I already forgot what they named it, about beehives. Once that carousel is turned on and you have it named and it's available, when you see a titles results list, you will see add to carousel button here. So if I clicked on this dinosaur book, it would add it to the carousel. As soon as I add it, it shows that is there and it gives me a minus. So later on or right now, if I click this, it will remove it from the carousel. So you are able to easily create a customized list of titles in that custom carousel. And you can change it, rename it, whatever you need on a regular basis. If I open up a title, the carousel button shows here also. Could do favorites or unfavorite. This is already in a favorite list. Holds. The other information showing here is about the same as it has been for a while. So if you've used Discover, there's no new changes. If I do go to reviews, I've already got a review on this one. I think the latest change here is just showing you may also like. So it gives other suggestions of titles when the students are looking at a title details page. I need to go back here. I'm going to click on Discover or Destiny Discover up here, and this will take me directly back to the home page. It's just one thing that everybody needs to learn, to be able to click up here to get back to the original setup. I'm going to scroll there. These ebooks are out. Let me get to a different set of ebooks. There we go. I'll open up this ebook just to show how the process works. So to open it means I'm just going to open the ebook and read it online. If you remember, the Lightbox interactive ebook we looked at earlier did not have a checkout because you do not check out the interactive unlimited access or the Lightbox ebooks. This one you can. Check out means when I check it out, I've got it. It's always in my list, and I would be able to download it and read it offline with the app, with the new Fallout Destiny Discover app. But I just want to take a look. I'm going to open it. Took me to a blank page. Let's see where I can get here. Well, I might have picked on a book that's not available, not working. That's not supposed to happen during demos. Let me close it. See what happens. Let me pick on a different ebook. There. Oh, well now, this is a different setup. This is allows me to place a hold. So it means it is already checked out. Sorry, I'm picking on all the wrong ebooks. Let's do this. What I moved too quick there, I clicked on the see all. Each ribbon has a see all because the ribbons will display just only so many titles. All right, let me do this one. It says it's in. When I'm looking at title result lists here, obviously I could open it, check out, says a favorite, or do carousel. So I technically don't have to go into title details. Or if I've done a search and seen it this way, I would have these options here. And the one above it, it's checked out. So there's only two things I can do. In this case, I'm going to open it and hope my browser is cooperating with this. Well, I must be having some problems. That never happens to anybody out there, right? All right, let me come back to this, try a little bit later. Obviously, either my browser is not cooperating or my connection. So I'm gonna come back. What we need to look at here, if I do a search again, doing a dinosaur search options, filters on the left, shows me a list of all the search results. I've had 98 books with the term dinosaur in it anywhere, somewhere. Could be notes, author, subjects, title. But the search results shows books. So books up here, and there's 5 options. But books would be items within your library. Even though it says just books, it could be your DVDs, it could be kits, it could be anything you have that you physically have in the library. Obviously, the majority of those items will be books. If I come here to collections, depending on your settings that we'll get into a little bit later, it's searching terms. Dinosaur is a term in collections, so I can see any collection someone has created. In this case, I'll just click on this one. Happens to be mine. And so then this is a list of titles that I have added to a collection for the dinosaur books. Coming back. Do another search. So that was the collections. If I go to websites, websites is specifically WebPath Express. So if you are subscribing to WebPath Express, this is how it looks and where you find all of the websites from WebPath Express. If you do not have it, have not seen WebPath Express as an add-on for Destiny, feel free to ask any of us. But it is telling me it is finding over 500 web pages that are related, that have the term dinosaur in it. These have all been vetted. They're all fit within the K-12 educational listing. And if I come over here, I can choose different things to limit by. I can limit by the subjects, or I can limit by the format. And if I want to see anything with just animation, that cuts it down to 20. So that works pretty fast. If that's not what I want, I can turn off the X, go back to the 500 and plus. I can come back in, let's say encyclopedias, and I could choose Lexile. So now I've got two limiters. So the whole concept is for students and teachers to see ways to limit, because the obvious is 500 or more websites is way too many to scroll through. They can make it favorites. They can add to a collection. They click on a link, takes them directly out to that web page, website, and easily come back to here. So that's WebPath Express is showing as websites. Databases. If any of you are using OneSearch, the databases from OneSearch are going to be displayed here. So when I search for dinosaur, it searched the OneSearch databases, and the OneSearch settings are done over in the Classic in the Destiny back office. So this would be National Geographic. These would be pages or articles from the National Geographic website. And our WebPath Express websites are constantly changing. Some will be pulled, some just disappeared. They get pulled, new ones are added. We have a group of educators that are constantly searching for and adding new ones. I went too far. Then there's open educational resources. If you do not see this, it's because it has not been turned on. The Destiny administrator can turn on the OER, Open Educational Resources option, up at the district level. And you also have options in your access levels to decide who sees open educational resources. Some librarians have chosen to turn it on only for teachers or staff that log in. There's nothing, what it is, it's a higher educate or higher ed type of web page, website, education, researching information that may or may not be fine for students, or maybe too much for students. Many librarians, they'll turn it on for anyone and everyone to be able to search. But these are websites that are found by by the Department of Education in the U.S. And so the thinking is for teacher resources. And that's why some don't let the students see it, but there's no harm in the students seeing them at all. Just a matter of how you want to teach them how to use this. So and these will come and go. So Follett is not responsible for these. We just can make the connection to the open educational resources. So I've run across a few that have disappeared, and eventually they do get removed from here. Many librarians like it though. Turn on, teachers use it. So there's just more resources. All these resources are going to show up here just from one search. Sorry. And then for the databases, we won't get into the big detail on this, but to turn on OneSearch and to set up OneSearch, and to also know that the OneSearch databases can also display in learning links if you choose. So some of these learning links you add manually, like I showed earlier in the setup. But some of these are coming through from the OneSearch option over in the Destiny back office. If I come back to the back office, under catalog, bottom left, search setup. Right here is enriched content searches. And then the first option is OneSearch database info. If you've never been here and never turned anything on, feel free to email us or check the online help up here in the upper right. But if you are subscribing to databases and or want access to some of the free databases that we've connected here, you can come in here and you can add or edit ones that are already there. If you're not sure what is there, the easiest thing to do is hit edit, and it will show you what has already been turned on by you or someone else. Many people do turn on a Canadian Encyclopedia. It's free. And if I edit this, this is the option that I think I'm probably is the answer to many of the emails I have received in the last 6 months to a year. This says display the Canadian Encyclopedia in the Destiny Discover homepage links section. So this is the learning links section. If you do not want it to automatically display, and some would not because there may not be any reason to go directly to that encyclopedia, then it does not display as a learning link, but it will display search results after a search has been done. And the other part of this is guests. If your students, teachers use your database, your catalog, and they do not log in, they're a guest. So if the guest option is not on, then your teachers and students are not able to see any of the OneSearch databases. Many people misconstrue this guest as outsiders, somebody from not from the school. But there are very few people not at your school that are going to be using your catalog for any reason. So you want to make it as easy as possible and informative for your students and your teachers, and many people will turn this on. And the good part of this is that you can make these changes as many times as you want. So turn it off, go take a look. If you like it, fine. Not, you can always turn everything back on or off however you want. And just to show, add databases, different options here. We're not going to get into details, but there's a long list of possible databases that you may be subscribing to that you can turn on in Destiny, get results showing in Destiny, and or free databases. All right, so I'm going to come back to Discover. Have there been questions so far?
Yes, Larry, there's some questions, yes. There's 3 actually. First one is 2 of the librarians are having issues logging into the app with the school name. So if you can give them a hint on how to find their school name in the app.
All right, so in the app, I think I can do this here. You always have to initially, or the students would have to initially, they would see this. So any location means anywhere in the world. You could leave it there or choose a state or other locations for outside of the country or other locations for other countries. And what you need to type here is your Destiny site name. Let me see if I can get lucky here. So if I type that in, you can see a list of those libraries that have that term in it. If it's all uppercase, that's probably not going to work. So the majority of the times, it's going to always be lowercase. And the name is coming from, let me show. Here's my demo site. It is the name that you display here. So the actual site name is what needs to be searched on. If you search on that name that you use here and you do not see it, or you have more than one choice, or you might see also your district name or other data, let us know. because we can, or you can always look here also. It's the same thing as the app. So our demo site does a ZDD. If I do that, it allows me to see other options. If I come up to here, I choose any location. You can see a long list of all this. And I would need to obviously get more specific to narrow down. So this is what it would end up looking like if you have a unique name. Now, part of the problem that I've seen is that sometimes it just says elementary library. So if I search for elementary library, I'm going to have a huge long list because there's a lot of libraries that just did that only. So if your site name is generic, it may be hard to find. So you can change the site name. So the best thing after this is that if you are not finding it, send one of us the information. What I do when I get those emails, I come to destinydiscover.com and start typing. Then I look at your Destiny website, see what your site name is, and figure out where the problem is. Once in a while, I do have to call tech support, and then we find out that something needs to be adjusted on our end. So we end up trying to either say, this is what you need to type, or we fix it, or we tell you what you need to change. Were there others?
Yes, next question, Larry, is please hold on a minute. Did you show, Colleen asked, sorry if I missed this, but did Larry show how to add images to the links on the home page?
I couldn't hear what you just said. You got a lot of background noise.
Sorry. Did you show how to add images to the links on the home page?
Yes. If I need to go back and show that, I can show that when I come back into settings.
Okay. Thank you. Now there's another question about the app. Heather from Graded is asking, is the Destiny Discover app for phones and tablets showing up in the Brazilian App Store?
Don't know. You'd have to search and see if it's there.
She says that we were sad to see that the back office app, which I've been using on my US-based phone to check books in and out for curbside checkout, is not available in the Brazilian App Store.
I did not know there were multiple app stores. We'd have to check in with the people in the office to see if there's controls on that.
Alrighty. Okay, so far this is it.
I did just notice somebody asked about changing the site name. So these site names, obviously there are typos, or they were created when Destiny was first installed. So either if someone inside Follett did the installation, they may have not had the correct info. Maybe the names have changed. Maybe the person somebody on your end typed in something and it was a mistake or misunderstanding. So if you need to change the name of the district, or you need to change the name of the library or the school name, whatever it might be here, when you can log in, you want to log in as Destiny admin. So hopefully one or more persons at your school has the Destiny admin password. Usually it's an IT person, and I always personally recommend that a A librarian thinking person, someone that's into the libraries majority of the time, also has the password. Because normally, if you're Follett hosted, where your Destiny address is ends with follettdestiny.com, the IT person does not have too much to do once everything is set up and running. There's maybe 4 or 5 options that the IT person would be involved with, but the rest of it is all library. So I logged in as Destiny admin, and then I can come up here to setup. And when I'm up here in setup, if the school name is not correct, if this is incorrect, I can come over here and click on edit. And I can change it to anything I need to. Now, if I save this, the changes may not show throughout all of the systems and everything else that is relying on this name until maybe tomorrow. So if you change it, if I change this right now and I go back to Destiny Discover or go into the app to try to find the new name, I probably would not see it. Now, I have seen it go through the system and get dispersed everywhere in quick time, like a half hour. But the majority of the time, we recommend that you do it today, wait until tomorrow at least before you really expect it to be displaying correctly everywhere outside of Destiny. So you can always change this. Now, you don't want to change it all the time daily, but anytime there's a mistake or a typo or a site name change, this is where you can come in. And this is what displays everywhere. If you print reports or labels or anything, this is what the name of the library will be to show on the report. And obviously, those of you that may just have a simpler site name like library or elementary library, you can come in and add whatever you want, initials, whatever you think the students would find easy to search on to find your library site. Same thing up here, the district. The district doesn't really affect too much. You don't see that anywhere. Basically, the students wouldn't see it except maybe right at the front home page, but you can change it here if needed. If I click on edit, this is the district. While I am here, logged in as Destiny admin, I'd like to remind everybody that Alliance Plus is a part of Destiny that you always want on. You have access to that. We see this get turned off sometimes accidentally, unknown why, etc. So you should always be seeing Alliance Plus results when you're searching at add title. If you do not see the blue A plus show up with titles, then this might be off. You want to come in and turn it back on and save it. And this is where the open educational resources are. So it is not on by default. If you want these to show up in Discover, tick this and be sure to save the changes. Let me see if this still kept me here in the right spot. All right. Now, what I want to do is come back up here to settings. I'm going to come up here. And I'm coming back here to admin. And we want to look at policies. This is for Follett ebooks. So you can have ebooks from other vendors in Destiny. Destiny does not care what you add. Adding it correctly. But these policies will be for Follett ebooks. Ebooks you buy from us. You will see your patron types listed. These are coming over from the Destiny back office. So if you go back into the Destiny back office, admin, under library policies, your patron types are listed. So when they come through here, let's say like faculty is a very common one. If I come over here, I can set up the loan periods and controls for the faculty for Follett ebooks. How many ebooks can they have checked out any given time? How many can they have on hold? How long do the holds last once the ebook is ready? And over here, these are circulation types. These are not coming from the back office. These circulation types you would create here. If you have never done any, all of you will have just one circulation type called general ebook. And over here, you would pick and choose how many days an ebook can be checked out. If you're new to ebooks and have not done much with it, recommendation is to not use 2 weeks. We saw many patrons, many students, teachers, they would check out an ebook and they were either through with it within a day or two, or did not need it any longer, did not want it any longer. They do have the option, each patron has the option to return the ebook early, but many do not. They just leave it set. So then it was a 2-week period before someone else could access it. So the suggestion is if you're kind of new to the ebooks or the students are new to the ebooks through the library, set a short time, like 4 or 5 days, 3 days. And as time moves forwards into the future, you can adjust the numbers if needed be. Circulation types. This is where you can create more circulation types. And then these circulation types need to be assigned to the ebooks that you want them to be connected with. That is done down here in title maintenance. So if you have multiple circulation types, well, somebody stripped my ebooks. There we go. The circulation types would be assigned over here. So if you wanted it to do different loan periods for different reasons, you would assign it appropriately to whatever you have connected up. Very few people have multiple circulation types. The only time I see 2, maybe 3 circulation types is if you are a K-12 school and your younger students having access to the upper grade level ebooks. And there's ways to do that controls. You'd ask and we can give you instructions on that. So you just need to be aware. Policies, Follett ebooks, title maintenance, circulation types if you use them. Other than that, you have options to hide. So if you do not want an ebook displayed anymore or have access to, you can just tick it and it is not going to be seen. It's kind of like weeding the ebooks. Right now, a lot of ebooks are still up to date and they're all right to have, but years down the line, there may be some titles that you do not want any longer to be seen. You can just hide them. While we're here in settings also, this is a common question. If you turn on the option to allow students to leave book reviews where they can rate them and or leave a text of what they think of the book, or if they leave a website where a video is to review the book or an audio book review, when they leave that review in Discover, they come here and you need to approve them before anyone else would be able to see them. All right, so what I'm going to do is close out my extra tabs. And what we need to look at is collections. As I mentioned before, collections are used very similar to what resource list would be used back in the Classic, back in the back office. So those of you that were using resource lists and you have not looked at collections, you should. What we're seeing here right now is public list. So in this area here, these are collections on this first row that were created by other patrons at my library site. So anybody within my school, patrons within my library, if they create a collection and make it visible, if you allow them to make it visible, this is where I would see them and everyone else would see them that uses your catalog. This is my school district in this page. And so I have multiple schools, multiple libraries in my one Destiny. And so anyone from another library could make their collection visible across all schools in the district that shows here. Then there are public collections. Now, public collections, and that is the majority of the 17,608. I don't know if you can read that, but it says featured, public, and private right now. So the public has over 17,000 collections, and these public collections are coming from anyone, anywhere that uses Destiny Discover collections in the world. So many of these collections would be great collections that you should use. Many schools, though, do not have it turned on for guests, and they do not have these public collections down here from everyone in the world turned on for students. The concern is that what might be appropriate in one area may not be appropriate in another region. So what I'm going to show here is that as an administrator is what you would have access to all 17,000 or more collections. And let's say I'm interested in this one. Julia School is the person, and I do not know who that is. These names, this is another reason that I always recommend that when you log in on a day-to-day basis, you use your patron record with your first name, last name in it. So when you're logged in creating collections, everyone knows who created the collection. Sometimes I will see admin 100 or site administrator here or other names that make no sense. But I want to look at this collection from Julia School, and let's just say, all right, that looks interesting, but she's got a lot of books. So those books are going to be in her library. So if I was going to use this with my students, the books are not going to help much. The web pages would. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to come back out. Well, that's good. I think my browser is not catching up with itself yet. There we go. Let me try this one for sports. All right, so what we're running into is mini collections. It takes a bit to reset. Sorry. All right, so let's say here's a collection. Let's say I like this collection. This is done by Mary Yaki, I think. So if I like what she has done and I want my students to see this, or I want to take what she has found and use it for my own, I can do that. I don't want to turn on the option for my students to see all 17,000 public collections. So if I come up to here, I can copy. So I'm going to copy this collection for my use. So when I do a copy, everything stays the same as what she had said, her explanation or her description. and it adds the word copy up here. Now I'm just going to leave the word copy here so that while I'm doing this, it's recognizable. This is the different one. You could erase it. You could rename this. You can type in any text you want. You can change this. The first option, because I'm copying this. It's a new collection for me at my site. It's private because I'm going to adjust it before I make it visible to my school or visible to the district or visible to the public. Public is going to the world. Now, if I click on next, I can assign grade levels, subjects, and this helps in limiting. So like when I searched for dinosaur and we came up with a long list of collections, there would have been limiters I could use to choose grade levels or specific subjects. If I go to next, I can see everything here. I would want to add some kind of a graphic, or, and this is preset graphics, or you can upload your own graphic. And I can change colors if I need to. Usually choose something that makes it easy to read. And then I'm going to save it. When I save it, it's mine now. So this is the copy. If I come back out to collections and I go to private, this is the one I just copied. So now I know that I'm not going to probably have these books that she has listed. I could double check. And if I do, I would want to possibly go and add mine to hers. But in this case, I don't have this one. So I would want to delete the items here that I cannot or don't want my students to use. But the web pages I would leave, maybe the article also, depending on what I want my students to see. I can adjust this any way I want. I can rename it. I can do anything I need to here. Because technically it is now mine to do as I please. I could add more. I'm just using someone else's collection to give me a head start for a subject that I need to work on, that I need to come up with for my students. Anything you make public to the world, anyone else can copy yours. That was the whole concept of everyone being able to share their collections, so that you can depend on others that maybe have more expertise in a certain subject. And the same thing with you sharing yours out. And anytime I want, I can edit. And when I have it done, I could put it back out for my school, my district, or make it public. And everyone would have access worldwide. And I can make any adjustments. In collections, this is where we always want to point people to. There are these options. So if I click the three dots, edit standards, if you're using it, this is usually a US thing. I can copy this and create another one. I could delete it. If I share and have others or allow others to edit my collection, I can see their activity, or I could create a PDF either to mail out, share, or print and hang up. Or if I want others to see this, so I'm left, sorry, wait a minute. I'm leaving this as private. So I right now am the only one who can see this. No one else has access. If I come here to the three dots in the triangle, I could share this link. So if I sent this link to two people, those two people could follow the link and see my collection. They could not see it through Destiny, Discover, or anywhere else, only through the link. Or I could send it and allow others to edit. So no one else can see it, but I can send it to two people, and I'm asking them to help me find items, websites, anything to add to my collection. Or if you have your patron record, if your patron records have the patron's email address in it on email number 1, I could email it to that patron. using that email address. And every time that one person logs into Destiny with their patron record and goes to Discover, that one person could see my collection or edit. So if you're using email addresses in the patron records, that people via email to the, would make more sense, because the student or the teacher that is assisting you or working with you or needing to view it would need to log in through Discover and to have access. There's a lot of different options, different ways, depending on what you need to do and how to do it. Different ways to view it. Whatever I set for my view, even though it's my my collection, it does not change how it is seen by the student or the patron. They get to choose how they view their collections. We'll come back out to collections, come back to private. There we are. I've already created this one, so like dinosaur. And once an item is here, you'll see a small orange button down here in the bottom right with a white plus in it. If there's no items, it'll be a bigger button up in here toward the top. Besides adding titles, and I'll show you those links a little bit, you can add almost anything else that's out there on the internet. So if I click on add, wait a minute, sorry. If I click on add, I can put an address here. Obviously, I could either type it, or if I had the address up somewhere in my browser, I could just go copy and paste it from the address bar up here at the top. Save it, move on from there. But your better option to be able to add websites from different places, different areas, different subjects, whatever you're needing, is to install the bookmarklet. So anytime you come in, you click the orange button with the white plus, and it comes up here underneath the URL setup. Sorry. You want to install the bookmarklet. So I can click there, and this is showing you the directions of what you need to do. I want to add a link up here in my favorites bar. So most people have their favorites bar turned on. Different browsers use different terms, but the links that you have across the top. I'm sorry, I should explain this. This works in Chrome. I don't think they have verified that it works in Firefox or Edge. So this does work in Chrome. And it's telling me to grab the yellow box, add to collection. With my left button, I'm going to drag it up, and I'm going to place it right here in my bookmark, and it says add to collections. I'm done. All right, and if I come back and just to show, just to be different here, I'll be back at the home. Sorry. Let's assume I'm out here. Once again, I'm searching for dinosaur websites. And I'm looking around, coming through, checking everything out. Let's say I look at this one. And I realize, yeah, this is a great website. I need my patrons, my students to have access to this website. I want to recommend it. So while I'm here, I don't need to copy the web page site. So if I had to copy the address, I'd have to come back to Destiny, and I'd have to go into Catalog, and I'd have to go into Discover, and go to Collections, and then go into Dinosaur Collection. And so that's just too many steps, because you're not always going to be ready, set and ready in your browser to be in Discover at your collections. So while I'm here, no matter where I am within Destiny, I do not have to be logged into Destiny. All I need to be is having this add to collections from my collections in Discover. And when I click here, it already knows what side I belong to and who I am through all this clicking. I mean, through this shortcut. And this is the title. And this is asking me now, add to what collection? So this is a list of my collections. And all I have to do is choose the collection. I could change the title. I could do some other stuff. Don't need to. I'm going to click on add. So I just added this website to my collection of dinosaurs. And I can do it all right here. And then I could come back out. And just an example, if I saw a, oh, they're selling t-shirts, all right. So if I did this, it says, yep, I like it. Add to collection. It remembers the last one I used, add. So I just added this website to the collection. If I come back in here where I'm normally working as a librarian day in and day out all day long, now I want to go double check it, go to discover, go to collections. I'll go to my private where I'm still working on it. Dinosaur is now on the left because that's the last one I added something to. And if I click here, I don't want custom. I want to see most recent. So you can change the order that you're viewing this. And these are the two websites I just added. So if I click here now as a student, or if I was a patron or a teacher or yourself, it takes me back to where we were. If I click on this one, it takes me back. So the concept here is that it is easy to add websites and or other items to the collection. If I come back in here to where we were before, adding websites, addresses, there's ways you can create a playlist. Won't get into the details, but basically you can create a playlist within a collection, and the students would need to view what you choose to be first, second, third, and in certain order. You can upload. So most schools or most everyone at a school either has a school Google Drive or a Microsoft OneDrive. And so if you have articles, pictures, videos, files, anything on your cloud drives, you can add to the collection. And the main point here is that students and teachers can create collections. So a lot of times if they're doing papers, they're doing work, whatever, they can add what they have in their cloud to their collection. You can add a note. You're actually naming the note and typing up information so it shows within the collection. And you can add collections within collections. If you'll see, I've got baseball. So other ones could have, you could have other sports, basketball, football, whatever you need. And then I could consider creating a collection of sports. And then I could put all my individual sport collections into that collection of sports. The purpose of this is to, or I should say the purpose, sorry. My suggestion is if you're new or you haven't changed or have not tried a lot of this, is to kind of experiment, create a couple of collections, add a few things, websites, books, anything else, and see how it works. As long as it stays private, no one else is going to see it. Once you get the hang of it, you start using it, allow students to use it, teachers to use it. It catches on. There's a lot of the other users, other people that have used this like these collections and use it on a regular basis. If I come here back to public, I don't know Naomi, but let's say she is doing a lot of, I see her name a lot and she does a lot of things I'm interested in and I want to keep track of. I can follow her. So anytime I'm looking at someone else's collection, I can click on follow. So that works whether it's somebody at your school, in your district, or somewhere in the world, you can follow. And when I click on follow, it says unfollow, so I could turn it off later. And now I have a following option up here. So this is showing me all the collections that Naomi has, or at least 4 of them, that she has created. I can click on see all, and obviously she's a busy person, so then I could look at her stuff and use it if I like it. There's also featured. Featured is collections from Follett. If you are using Lightbox ebooks, we have a lot of collections here for many of the Lightbox ebook titles. So if someone is using one of the Lightbox ebooks in a class, they could come in here, search for specific terminology. And if I go in and look at Literature Studies Night, there's no standard set. Wait a minute, I want to find one with standards. There's ways to set up standards. That figures. Sometimes we'll see standards and it'll break it down so that we can see what's going on for specific curriculums. The Classroom Ready, this is something you can subscribe to. So if I click on Science, there, now we'll see the curriculums. Curriculums show down here. So this may or may not fit your style of standards and or curriculum, but these options are here for Classroom Ready. And then there are ones that fit within the Lightbox ebooks. The ebook ones, the Lightbox ebooks should display for you. The Classroom Ready, you should see a preview only. And then this would be a subscription at different levels, different number of collections. You can see here's 3 of them actually: science, social studies, English language, elementary. Then it starts over again, middle school, then high school, same 3 subjects all the way through, just different levels. All right, if I come back to here, what I want to do is go back down to admin, because I just showed collections, so we're going to look at collection roles. Or I'm sorry, collection policies. So when I am logged in as me with my patron record, site administrator or administrator access level, this is what I am allowed to do as an administrator with collections. So I can create a collection. I can make collections visible to my local site, my library, to any library within the district, so any libraries in one Destiny, or I can make them public. So this would go worldwide. I can view the collections created by the district collections, or I could be restricted to cannot view other sites or show only my group of library collections, different options. I can view the public, so that lets me see the worldwide ones. And I can see the featured collections. In comparison, if a student came in, or logged in, sorry, all I'm going to do is allow the student to create collections. So if a student is logged in, they come in, they can create their own collection. I would probably be tempted to turn this on and allow the students to see maybe other collections within the district. That might be possible. So you make choices here. I do not want them to make their collections visible to anyone. If I have 1,000 students and 100 of them start making collections and they start making them visible to everybody, we'd have way too many collections. And they cannot see the featured collections. So you have all these options to turn on and off. Same thing for guests. What does a guest get to do if they do not log in, but you want them to see collections so they can view them? You can turn these options on and off anytime you want. So once this is set, obviously you would save it, you close out and leave. Other thing here in this menu that everyone should be aware of is widgets. What I've picked up after so many years of working with a lot of different libraries is you could have a perfect catalog and a perfect library, but everyone has a hard time getting students and teachers to the catalog to teach them to go there to find resources that you have for the school. So you'd always give them the address. If I come back here, your address up here, and you technically don't need all the extra. All you need is up to your .com. Everything past that would create problems or maybe possibly have a link that does not work for everyone that tries it. So keep your links simple. This would come back to your library. So then you'd have to paste this everywhere. Everyone would have to have it as a favorite, or people would have to memorize it, etc., of how to and what to, and get access to it. And it makes it difficult, especially if everyone is using their own devices. But you also want shortcuts on all the computers within the school. If I come back into here and to Discover, you can use the Discover shortcut. The one that shows up here always ends in 5 digits. Everyone has a different 5-digit number. So this address, whether you're a guest logged in or whoever you might be anywhere with any browser, that address at the top, when you're in Discover homepage, you can copy and share and with anyone, use it as shortcuts or links on any web page. Or the best idea that I think most like is widgets. If you have not seen widgets, you can use widgets. So these are different. There's 4 different icons. A plain one. Let me get one that has a little bit of background color so you can see it easier. There we go. Depending on the web page that you might add this to, you can add these. And this first one is just a click, and it takes them to your Follett Destiny Discover. These other 3, just different sizes, but they have search fields. So you can take these icons, these graphics, and I'll show you in a little bit, but there's a code that you can copy. If you have access to a school or library website, if you're doing blogs, you can add the code to the website page, and this is the icon that will show, and it works from there. Your IT person, whoever is in charge of the school webpage, should know this, because you really want students to be able to get to the catalog as easily as possible. So if I wanted to use this one, I come over here to customize and get code. Probably can't see it here, but if I highlight that, this is the code. So all I have to do is copy the code, go over to my blog, web page, wherever I'm going to put this. When I paste it and save it, it will display this. And if I click on it, it takes me to my Discover page. If I type in a search term, it takes me to my Discover page showing the search results. And there are different things you can do up here, like or you could limit it to just books or just digital or just databases. So you can have multiple widgets in different places for different things if you choose. All right, any questions going?
Yes, Larry, there are a few questions.
All right.
One of the questions is how to filter ebooks by grade level.
Yeah. All right. If I just pick on ebooks only, if you have the carousel and you got a lot of ebooks, well, now what? I think I've had multiple tabs open, so it may be getting, there it goes, there it goes. All right, so if I just choose ebook, I can come over here to start with just to show you what this is going to look like. Under format, it will show me ebooks. So we have 666 ebooks from some other vendor, and we have 94 Fallout ebooks in this website, or I'm sorry, in this catalog. So that's one start. Down here, because I know these are all ebooks to start with, Lexile, interest level. So I could change this and move this down like this, and I could say this is anything from second grade to sixth. And when I click on done, it shows here. So whatever leveling you have within your records, you'll get some leveling from us. Interest and reading levels are added to almost all of our title MARC records, whether it's ebooks or regular books. Or if you subscribe to Updating with Lexile or Fontes and Pinnell or Accelerated Reader reading counts, if that data is there, then you can limit by that leveling system. I think, was that the question?
Yes, yes, I think so.
Oh no, wait a minute.
She
She's
meant
doing another.
filter books can be displayed to each grade level.
Let me see if I can do that real quick. I can give you an idea. A lot of times this is going to take an email. If I come back into admin, policies, I don't have the right terminology showing through on this one, but let's just say, try to pretend with me. I've got, let's call this, we're going to assume this is upper grade students. And this is lower grade students, upper and lower. I do not want my lower grade students to see adult books. So these would be the higher end books, let's just say. So I'd have a circulation type called adult books. I'd come here to title maintenance. And I'm going to end up choosing to make my any adult or higher level, higher grade books belong to that one. So let's just say the fifth wave. It says young adults. So I don't want my students, my younger students, to see these. So I would change this to adult. I probably wouldn't use the term adult books. I'd use young adult or higher grades or upper grade books. So I've assigned this one to this and that. All right. And I would save it. Once that's saved, I come back here to policies. So this is our lower grade students and upper grade. So if I look at the upper grade and I do an action, I can edit. And I am allowing my upper grade students to have the adult books for 5 days. And if I come back here that I'm considering my lower grade students, I see the circulation type for adult books. I'd make these 0. So if I save that, which I'm going to, what that means is when they're logged in and they are assigned to that specific patron type over in Destiny, and anytime they're trying to open up or search for, they cannot access any book that has a 0 loan period. Now, what I would suggest is, like what I just did is I would just make sure I got the patron type terminology straight between Destiny and here, and that should come through normally. I do the circulation type to be separate for upper grades. And then I would maybe change a couple of titles to the circulation type and then come in and set up the loan period of 0. And then don't change a whole lot of records. Go back and experiment, see what students see. Every librarian should also have their own student login, a fake patron, something with a different name. So that way, because when you're logged in as Destiny, as a site administrator, as you, with your patron record, you're seeing everything. So if you create a Donald Duck or a Mickey Mouse patron record and set it with the student access level that you want to look at, and then log in, and then you will see exactly what the students see and cannot see. Many times I've seen some accidentally turn on administrator options within the access levels for students, and they did not realize that. So we always recommend to have a fake patron login so you can see exactly what all the students see and what the teachers might see. So the main purpose, patron type separate, circulation type separate, 0 loan period for the younger students so they cannot check out the upper grade books or see them. Other questions floating by?
Yeah, Larry, could you show where to find the widgets once again, please?
Yes. So when you're logged in, Discover, the hamburger menu in the upper left, widgets are right here, right above the admin. So it's a different section. Only administrators will see these 2 options, widgets and admin. So if I click on the widgets, I get a new tab open in my browser, and then I can pick and choose what I need to see and what I want to try. And you can adjust this as much as you want, change them, move them around, do whatever you want on the websites. You're not going to break anything. If it gets messed up on a website, you just delete the code and come back and get new, fresh code. Other questions?
Well, there are some comments. Okay, one of them is about WebPath Express. Heather has been getting dead links. Okay, should these show if WebPath cancels them? Why is she seeing those? And another thing is, many of the links require Flash Player, which will not be available from December on. So are people aware what's happening here? You know?
No, if you run across a link in WebPath Express that does not work, let us know and let us double check. We do run utilities 24 hours, 7 days a week that check all these websites. It takes the links and it goes out and it can tell if the website is still alive or not, or if it's down. If it is not there or down, then we remove it immediately from the WebPath Express. And we also have ways to check to see if the web page has changed 10% or more. So if it's changed more than 10%, then we remove it, because obviously it could be something that isn't what we want or should not show. Everyone is aware of the Flash concept. I'm not aware of how we would handle that if the websites continue to use Flash. I would assume that adding new ones, if a website has Flash, we would see errors, so we would not add that one. It's possibly that this utility would also pick up websites that continue to use Flash that we've added before, and it would see that it is not working or it has changed or something is not right, so it would most likely be pulled. So it's also on the websites. It's on everybody. If Flash is going to be totally yanked and not available and unavailable, doesn't work anywhere, then everyone's going to fall into the same boat, and eventually it'll all be cleared out. What else? Anything?
One last comment, and we know this from long ago, that the issue with the images that are put into the covers of the books in the back office cannot be seen in Destiny Discover. So
Correct.
it's a main concern.
Yep. That's everybody's concern. When they allowed the ability to add your own images back in Classic, whatever resolution and how it is saved in Destiny, when they were trying to pass those through to Discover, the image was horrible. It did not look clear. It was pixelated, and it was not the right resolution to bring through. So they have not finalized any kind of a solution for this. I would suggest, if you are adding images, to save those images with either an ISBN number as a file name or a title as a file name. ISBN would be best. That way, if they have to be reloaded for a new feature with Discover with the better resolution, you would have them available. Everyone is asking, everyone is expecting, Follett is very aware of it. Just a matter of finding the best solution and how to handle the different resolutions. One last thing I should point out too, I meant to earlier. There is a Lightbox subscription. So if you do this, you can add the link and it will show up here in Learning Links. So these are the subscription titles. You would need to speak with Marina and or Sean about how the subscription works. I forgot, is there over 1,000? I think there's over 1,000 titles in this subscription.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things already here. So if you're looking at Lightbox eBooks, we can always set up a demo on this to go through it and explain the details. Questions? Getting down the last 5 minutes.
Well, there's one person who asked if you could show where to set up Alliance Plus again.
Sure. If I come back out, oh wait, I need to do it at a different place here. If I'm at this is what we refer to as the district page. Obviously, it's a demo site. I have 8 sites, 8 schools. You may have 1, 2, or 3. Even if you just have 1 library and 1 school, there's still the district terminology. So I need to log in as Destiny admin. And I need to go to the setup, which is the district setup. And your very first line up here is your district. Even if you have 1 library, 1 school, you still have a district name based on our terminology in Destiny. Come over here, and there's an offset icon, edit icon. It's called, if you see the highlight, it says edit district when I hold my mouse over it. Click here, scroll down, and Alliance Plus. It never hurts to log. You can always log in anywhere with if you have the Destiny admin login, you can always just double check anything you want. Destiny admin is the one that turns features on and off, is able to edit the administrator access level at the site level. But if you do stay logged in as Destiny admin all day, you will miss out on features. You won't see things in Discover, collections, and other options. Any more questions?
Larry, I guess this is it. Let me just add that this is being recorded, so I'll be sending out the recording to everyone. If you think I don't have your email address, please send it to me so I can send you the link. And I'll also be sending out information on subscriptions. Okay, I have the templates where you can select if you're interested in any of those subscriptions annually, for Lightbox, the ones that Larry just showed. Okay, so Larry, I guess that's it. We want to
All right. Thank you,
everyone
everyone.
for your time, and if there's more questions coming in, you can email me and I'll send them over to you, and we can keep in touch that way. Okay. And thank you everyone for participating. If you have any comments on the webinar or if you'd like to suggest anything, feel free to do so. And we can do this over again sometime. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.